I'm Mark Murphy, Headmaster and President of Prairie School. Welcome to our 46th year. We've had a great start to the year, and we are going to have a great future to the year as well. That's because of the very, very fine teachers that we have, because of the quality of the program and the results of that program, because of the embrace of the mission of the school, and because of the beautiful surroundings and environment. For those of you who have supported us in the past through having your children attend or through the annual fund, thank you. Now I'd like to talk to you about the school's finances, which continue to be very strong and very secure. But the primary focus I'd like to talk about is the gap that exists between the tuitions that we charge and the cost of educating each child. It's almost like these three seats here. This is the education or the cost per child. In reality, given what we charge, we cover about this much of the expense of the school. And we have to take care of this. It's the gap. It's real, it's prescient, and it's the quality you expect turned into the dollars we must raise. Tuition, you see, bears the cost of the faculty. We have to recruit very fine faculty, and you know and I know they're the tops. We have to sustain them. We sustain them through their salaries, through their benefits. Like any enterprise, you have to do that for your people. And then we must enrich them to make sure that their skills in terms of teaching in today's 21st century education keep up to where they ought to be. And you know and I know we do a very fine job at that. When the annual fund works, we get to do very, very exciting things like we did this year. I want to show you some of those things beginning right here in this classroom. This is a third grade classroom. I'm standing in what used to be the Science Exploratorium. There was a big storage room here. The Exploratorium was here, a classroom there. Now the two third grades are together. We expanded it, added new lighting, new carpeting, lots of room to grow for kids. It really worked. And we did the same thing with the second grade, moving the second grade from the primary school wing into this particular wing, having those two classrooms side by side as well. Teachers working together, children collaborating together, that worked just as well. That's what generosity can do. And take a look at smartboard technology, technology within the teaching learning moment. That's all made possible by your generosity. You know, the early school rooms last year were about as big as this. Very snuggly, pretty tight. Not the best place for our wee wogs to grow and to know. But you see, what we got to do was to expand this space, pushing walls out, add new lights, new carpet, a new way of looking at young people. And if you knew how difficult it is to get into that thing, you'd see just how hard we're all working to make this thing go. You know, it's homecoming and fall fest. It's blown like bejeebers and cold as snap. Just in time for a new HVAC system. I'm not very good with heights, but I'm going up here to show you the one we had and replaced last summer. We installed it when Helen Johnson was in third grade, and when Diane Breach bought her first red pencil. You're just going to have to take my word for it. But I want to thank you for your generosity and look forward for your support this year. You know, we use technology throughout the entire school to enhance teaching, learning, and assessment. Maybe we should use it in the headmaster's office to enhance headmastering. But that aside, let me tell you what we could get done when the annual fund works. We could take the two kindergarten rooms. It works. We could completely re-engineer those rooms. New lighting, new space, move walls, new carpeting, more light, more space for kids to learn and to grow, just like we did in the early school. In the theater, just think about the theater. Many of you have been there. Imagine yourself as a performer in one of our concerts or one of the musicals, or perhaps one of the very solid dramatic plays. There's a pause and all of a sudden you hear squeaky, 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 squeak. Well, those seats have been there for over 30 years. We're going to re-engineer them, recover them. We're going to change the sound system, new carpeting, new lights, energy efficient lights. And finally, of course, this is a Frank Lloyd Wright style Taliesin building, leaky Frank. That is to say, the primary school, the whole roof needs to be replaced. It's been there for over 25 years. Your participation in the annual fund will make that possible. You see, as I said to you, tuitions cover about 78% of what we do here, and the difference is covered by the annual fund. What I'm asking you to do is to join with my family. My son, who's an alum of the school, lives in Chicago, my daughter and my son-in-law, whose children are here at the school, my wife and myself. We're all very generous supporters of the annual fund because we can see the tangible value of what it does for the children in our care. Now here's a couple of ways you can participate. You can simply write a check, it's tax deductible. Or you can give online. But everything you do to participate encourages other people to participate. And as you drive into campus, if you're close by campus, you'll see that we're going to keep a monitor going up, right up through the hawk. Every day we can see how more and more people have helped us meet the goals and objectives of this year. Because excellence, you see, is the key. And excellence is based upon two things: participation and generosity. I thank you very much for this. And I want to thank Dave Kane, father of 4 kids at Prairie School, did this entire video for the school at no cost. Thank you, Dave.